The space goes down, down, baby, down, down the roller coaster. Sweet, sweet, baby, sweet, sweet. Don't let me go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop. Shimmy, shimmy, rock. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop. Shimmy, shimmy, rock. I met a girlfriend, Trisket. She said, Trisket, biscuit, ice cream, soda pop, and air on top. Ooh, Shalita, walking down the street 10 times a week. I'm at it. I said it. I sold my mom's credit. I'm cool. I'm hot. Sock you in the stomach 3 more times.
4 more times. Do you love the movies? Did you love the search for the perfect rental on a Friday night? Finally settling on something you would someday regret until you do a podcast about movies? I know I did. Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host Anthony.
It's a building. What's fun about that?
Bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond. During which we will play the game and open up a 6-pack of favorite scenes. We also point out a couple of generic scenes as well. At the end of the show, we will rate the movie 1 to 24 cans. 1 can is a dirty hotel in New York hearing shots outside your window. And 24 cans is Susan's sweet embrace. But before we get to all that, we want to let you know that we have a website. It's a wonderful place, sodapopcultureclub.com, where you can make your own movie suggestions. So if you want to guarantee we do your movie, all you have to do is make a donation of $25 using our Venmo or PayPal. The name is @SodaPopCultureClub. And don't forget to make sure you say what it is for when you make your donation. We also strongly encourage you to email us, letting us know why you want us to do the movie you request. And you can email us at mikeandanthony@sodapopcultureclub.com. If you don't use the request portal, that is, because the request portal is easy and it's also on the website. So there you go. And if you want to support our show without making a movie request, it's easy. Just hit our merch link and buy something. We have shit like t-shirts, hoodies, fanny packs.
Hell yes.
Go crazy.
We do.
We do.
Good
I might
stuff.
even make one with your picture on it.
Good stuff.
Well,
Ooh.
mediocre when your picture's on it.
A fanny pack with my picture on it. I would buy that.
People wear it on their back so your head is right above their ass at all times.
There you go.
A couple more things. Don't forget to share the show with your friends. Check out our Instagram @Mike and Anthony, where we post thirst traps of Anthony's belly roll. We also have a Twitch channel, and I have not been using it lately, but I will on Tuesdays eventually. So just keep your eye open. And go to Apple Podcasts. We really need people to go there, subscribe, leave 5-star reviews, and leave comments, and because it would be super awesome. It helps us grow our show. So, Anthony, do you have anything you want to say now about what we're doing this week?
Oh, I sure do. So, this movie is a statement that changes a couple times in a guy's life. As a young kid, you say, I wish I was big. It means totally a different thing than later on in life where you're like, I wish I was big. That's
do you want me to just
No, let me go. You play the trailer, then I'll break it down.
For Josh Baskin, life was a little unfair.
Told you to take out the garbage. You're gonna miss the bus. I'm gonna tell you again, Josh. Joshua Baskin. Josh!
Until he made a little wish.
I wish I were big.
Sweetheart, it's 7:30. Are you up? Josh!
20th Century Fox presents Tom Hanks. Big.
I turned into a grown-up, Mom. I made this wish on a machine, and it turned me into a grown-up.
So now what?
You get a job.
Cannot get a job.
I play with all of this stuff, and then I tell them what I think.
And they pay you for that?
Suckers!
Vice President, he's only been here a week.
See that girl over there in the red? She'll wrap her legs around you so tight you'll be begging for mercy.
Well, I'll stay away from her then.
I loved your ideas on the squeezy doll line.
Thanks.
What were you like when you were younger?
Oh, well, I wasn't much different. Ejector seat!
Who are you? I'm his girlfriend.
I want to spend the night with you.
Do you mean sleep over?
Yeah.
Okay. But I get to be on top.
What is so special about Baskin?
He's a grown-up.
How do I feel about what?
How do you feel about me?
You're only young once.
This is important!
I'm your best friend. What's more important than that, huh?
But for Josh,
I miss my family, Susan, and I want to go home.
Oh my God, you're married.
it just might last a lifetime. You'll never forget Tom Hanks.
It's Beluga.
In Big.
Here's our breakdown by the numbers, directed by Penny Marshall and starring Tom Hanks, Elizabeth Perkins, Jared Rushton, David Moscow, Robert Loggia. Loggia? I never get that right. Had it before. John Hurd, John Lovitz, Mercedes Rule, and Deborah Jo Rupp, a.k.a. Kitty Foreman. Big was released on June 3rd, 1988, taking in $151.7 million at the box office.
Woo!
Against an $18 million budget. It scores 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb and 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
People love this movie.
It is crazy.
They just love this movie because they love everything with Tom Hanks, I'm sure. That's kind of how it goes.
I mean, what don't you love by him? So, do you want me to throw this fact out?
Since it's right here, you throw the fact out, then we'll play the game.
Let's do it. So, in her second movie directing assignment, Penny Marshall became the first female director to ever direct a film that made more than $100 million at the box office. Big ups, Penny Marshall. Good job. That's amazing.
And the only reason it didn't happen before that is because they didn't let women direct as much as they should have.
Right, which still an amazing fact, even though it's like an amazing fact, even though it's a shitty fact because it should have happened way before that.
It should have been like in the 80s.
Bullshit. It's such bullshit.
Or before the 70s. Probably.
It didn't happen before that.
Yeah. All right, so you ready to play the game?
Okay.
And we're going to do the game. The game is where I read Anthony 3 reviews. One of them I made up. 3 movie reviews, that is, not just 3 random reviews. And he has to guess which one I made up. You two can guess along and see if I fool you, right? Because I might. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Are you?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Matt Brunson of
Bitch,
Creative...
your screen went blank. What happened?
Oh, not allowed to read my face anymore.
Oh.
Matt Brunson of Creative Loafing, a disarmingly sweet movie, but has scruples. Steve Rhodes, Internet Reviews. Hanks gives one of the best performances of his impressive career. Kevin Raleigh, That Little Movie Blog. An unconventional summer blockbuster that stole our hearts and had us asking what if.
All right. What was the first one again? Who was the guy who did it?
Matt Brunson of Creative Loafing.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Steve Rhodes, Internet Reviews. Kevin Raleigh, That Little Movie Blog.
So I'm going to guess the first one.
Okay. And why?
Because of the review itself.
Okay. So,
tell me if I'm right or wrong first.
The one that it wasn't was for sure is Steve Rhodes of Internet Reviews. Hanks gives one of the best performances of his impressive career. So you are correct that is not it.
Okay.
However, it was Kevin Raleigh.
The So
That Little Movie Blog, an unconventional summer blockbuster that stole our hearts and had us asking what if. And Kevin Raleigh is what's his name's character in Meet the Parents, the guy who carved the thing. Owen Wilson character.
I was gonna say my second choice would have been that last review, only because of the end of it. It made us ask what if, because there's some stuff in this movie that the what if thing is creepy.
What if they didn't make this fucking movie, right?
No, just the what ifs that happen.
But
We'll
funny
talk
though
about
is
that later.
that is an amalgamation of other reviews. I saw some and I thought, well, I will take a piece of this one and a piece of that one, and I put them together. And so those are things you would have read.
Yeah.
And a little different
But
wording.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because I don't
cheat. So
I don't cheat.
So I've got some facts I want to go on before we go over some things.
Okay.
Anne Spielberg, Steven's sister, wrote the big script with Gary Ross with the idea that Harrison Ford would star and the elder Spielberg would direct, Steven, of course. When they dropped out, producer James L. Brooks presented the script to Penny Marshall, and that's how she ended up getting it that. So interesting that Harrison Ford was going to be there. Okay, so here's another one. Good one. Tom Hanks was the first choice, but he was busy with other projects at the time. Marshall asked several other big names of the time, including Kevin Costner, Warren Beatty, and Dennis Quaid, who all said no. Albert Brooks gave her the same answer, saying he didn't want to play a kid. John Travolta really wanted to do it, but the studio didn't want Travolta because at the time he was box office poison, and this is something she wrote in her memoirs later. Sean Penn was deemed too young, and Gary Busey auditioned, but Marshall didn't think he could pull off playing an adult. Fucking weird.
Wait, question
Fucking
here.
weird.
Real quick.
Yes.
Of those people, could you imagine any of them doing this?
No. Dennis Quaid would be the closest.
That's who I was going to say, and that's why I was wondering what you thought. That was the one name that stuck out. I was like, obviously it's not Tom Hanks, but of any of those
Hanks
actors,
is great. But
any of those actors, I would say Dennis Quaid is the one that I could see.
He has that charm. He has the boyish charm.
Exactly.
Yeah. He has that boyish charm. Okay, so here's some other ones. Wanting to make a family-friendly commercial film, De Niro at first accepted Marshall's offer. So Robert De Niro was offered this role. And De Niro and Jared Rushton, who played Billy, who played Josh's childhood friend Billy, even hung out in Marshall's driveway skateboarding and shooting hoops. However, De Niro's $6 million price tag was ultimately too expensive, and after declining Marshall's offer to pay him with her own salary, she was actually going to pay him, De Niro dropped out, but his short-lived attachment helped to raise the project's profile in Hollywood. So when approached about starring for a second time, that's when Hanks said yes. So remember, he was too busy to before, but then once De Niro was like,
big time.
Yeah.
Just like in the preview. Big time.
I'm on my way. I'm making it. Yeah. And I've got a quick Deborah Winger fact. You know, Missy from Urban Cowboy, or Sweaty Legs and all. The actress kept asking her director friend Penny if the gender could be switched for the protagonist, but Marshall explained to Winger that she couldn't see a way to make a 35-year-old man in a relationship with a 12-year-old girl not to be something from Penthouse or Hustler. And that is so true, because it's already a problem. Yeah, he's holding up a picture of Big for me. Yep, he's there. He's a yes. Oh man. All right. So, are you ready to get into this, man?
So it's funny. I'm just gonna say that because you said that. So on my wall right in front of me, where I podcast, I have a bunch of DVD placards.
Yeah, they're like movie box covers, I'd say.
Right, but they're like, thick plastic, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just funny because right in front of me, dead center, is the one for Big.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks' glistening face right there.
Really big too.
Big, yeah.
Big face.
I just looked up. I was like, oh shit, that's right there. So yeah. The Deborah Winger thing, that's funny just because we've, very had our discussions about
how she was in a movie that was highly inappropriate in that.
She's done Urban Cowboy, where she's played the battered girlfriend and wife. Terms of Endearment, which killed us all.
Officer and a Gentleman, if you've
Officer
seen
and
that.
Gentleman, yes. And then, like, so then you want to be a female pedophile and big?
No.
Or not the
You want to
pedophile, I'm
be
sorry.
you want to be pedoed
You
by
wanna
a
be pedoed.
dude.
Like, Deborah Winger, you're a great actress, and I do love you really, but man, it's like your catalog is getting crazy.
Choices, man. I'm glad Penny turned her down from that because
No, I do love Deborah Winger. I really do. She's done some fantastic work.
she did that show with Sam, what's his name, and Ashton Kutcher on Netflix. What was that? Where he's played the football star? I forget. She was his mother.
Oh shit.
That was a good show.
Oh god.
Until
the ranch.
Until that guy, the rooster or whatever, got caught got canceled for I think did he have a rape allegation?
He was a rapist.
Actually, he was convicted, wasn't he?
He was a rapist Scientologist.
So, all right. So with that in mind,
he was a rapatologist.
So with that in mind, we're gonna go on with this. Are you ready to go, man? I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm gonna start it off.
Oh, you're gonna read today?
I'm gonna start it off now.
Now it's these 2 paragraphs. Can you handle that?
Words.
Lots of words.
Left to right, up and down. I got it. Okay.
Okay, go.
All right. 12-year-old Josh Baskin is told that he is too short for a carnival ride called the Super Loops, not the Fruit Loops, while attempting to impress a girl who really has no interest in him. We all know that. Dejected and sad with a shark hat on, he inserts coin into an antique fortune teller machine called Zoltar and makes a wish to be big. Overall, not just in one part. Overall, Zoltar dispenses a card stating, "Your wish is granted." But Josh notices that the machine has been unplugged the entire time. What the F? The next morning, Josh finds that he has grown into an adult with underoos on. He tries to locate the machine, but finds that the carnival has moved on to its next destination. Returning home, he tries to explain his predicament to his mother, who, freaking terrified, as you would be, with a grown dude up in your shit, refuses to listen and threatens him with a knife, thinking he's a stranger who has kidnapped her son, fleeing from her. He then finds his best friend, Billy, and convinces him of his identity by singing a song that only they know. With Billy's help, he learns that it will take some time to find the Zoltar machine again. So Josh rents a flop house in New York City and gets a job as a data entry clerk at the Macmillan Toy Company, working beside Mr. Lovitz.
Mr. Lovitz. Yeah, I don't know the name of his character in the movie. It's awful, isn't it? But I do want to go over a few things. So the movie, I think this movie gets it right at this beginning.
Which part?
So the part where he goes big, right? Where he makes the wish, I think, because it takes us on a pretty good journey of his discovery, him getting up and his realization, when he hits the floor, looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
His deep voice, his mother thinking he's a robber when he comes back, and him thinking that not that she's afraid of him, but that he's an idiot and didn't wipe his feet before he came in the house.
Sorry. I made this for you. The little statue thing he breaks.
And then ultimately the thing that gets right.
Baseball team is called.
And ultimately the thing that I think it gets right really well is Billy being the one to believe him, because you would have to be young enough to still believe in some sort of magic in this world. Well, and to be able to take that leap to think that that's him, because adults are all jaded and life has beaten you down. You don't believe in that magic.
I think I think it's that, and also the fact that, like, when you're that age and you've got that friend, they're the only one that knows all that shit,
Oh yeah, the weird in jokes, all the shit. Yeah.
There's like, that there, and again, this is before internet, social media, everything. So if you have a best friend, they know your shit. So it's not hard to convince them that, here you go.
I think at that age, it's a lot easier. I think if they were in college, they'd be like, what the fuck you talking about? Get out of here,
Well, in college, because you're drunk. And you're like,
you're already big, too.
What is she talking about, Willis? So,
Now, the whole reason though he does this stupid shit is because of that girl. And you're right. That girl, I can't see a world where she's into him because she values two things that I can tell.
Well, okay.
Driving and independence.
Here's the
Are you here alone?
Here's the other thing with that though. First of all, her boyfriend seems very nice, but he's a dork.
Yeah.
Even though he seems cool at the time to her in that movie, you look at that guy, you're like, you're a fucking dork. It's one of those like looking back on kind of things. You're like, when you look at the popular girls in school and the guys they went for, like, you're all fucking geeks. You're fucking dorks. Anyway, like,
and they thought you were the dork. So there you go.
Fucking candy stripe starter jacket and your acid wash jeans and all. So whatever. Fuck off. Yeah. So the other thing with that though, when you're saying she's just not that into him, if you will, when you're that age, so basically I think it's like pretty much like junior high to high school.
Yeah.
There's an area there where if somebody is a year younger or older than you, that's kind of the cutoff line.
It's a deep
chasm. Like, if somebody is more than a year younger than you, hell no. There's a thing there where
I think when I was in high school,
like
a girl 2 years younger people could go out with.
A grade or two behind you.
Yeah.
Unless I guess you flunked, but a grade or two behind you. Like, that's like taboo. It's like, oh no, you won't ever live that down. Can't do it.
It is weird. I think it happens more guy to girl going younger than girl to guy going younger. Like very rarely is it the girl dating the younger guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and but like Penny Marshall said, that was less taboo at the time. You know, a senior could go out with a freshman or a sophomore, and it wouldn't feel weird. I mean, look at 16 Candles, Jake.
Well, yeah, the guy going out with a younger girl. Again, this is just if you want to say it's society or what has
back
been,
then. That was,
I think, either way. But no, I'm saying for her with Josh, no way. You know,
that was too big of
a younger dude that's shorter than you. Fuck nah.
Yeah, no,
not happening.
That's not happening. Not happening ever. I don't think so.
It's like, how did he not know better? I understand set your sights high, but when you set your sights high and you have to actually look up at the girl, no, that's too high.
But Billy did him a solid though later on and got the intel. He did tell him that she just dumped that guy. And
Billy did not do well. He said, "You're in."
He said, "You're in" because she's out with another guy. He didn't say, he forgot. He didn't get the intel that you were in the sense that you're in because she said so.
He just said she's available. That doesn't mean you're in. And he even said, Billy, that doesn't mean Josh, God forbid. He didn't get to finish it.
Yeah, it's true. Oh man.
Before he
so
woke
what did
up,
you think about the transformation? What did you
So it was really funny, Tom Hanks hitting his head on the bunk bed and all the, trying to put on his little pants and all, because it's like all the stuff he's used to. He doesn't know he's big at that point. And it's like, the comedy in it, the physical comedy was great.
Yeah,
and then,
it was good.
Going in front of the mirror, looking behind the mirror, like what is it, but then also the big thing here is big, but what every kid would do is
every boy
look down and pull out your underwear and be like, oh, whoa.
What the heck is that?
That's where, wait a second. If this is real, is this real? That's, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, after he talks to Billy and Billy believes him, Billy, to believe him, though, he had to do the rap. Do you know the rap? I was going to ask you the song. Do you know the song? They called it a rap on this thing, but
they do. It's not a rap. It's a song.
In the notes that I got off of Wikipedia, they called it a rap.
The space goes Down, down, baby, down, down the roller coaster. Sweet, sweet, baby, sweet, sweet. Don't let me go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop. Shimmy, shimmy, rock. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop. Shimmy, shimmy, rock. I met a girlfriend, Trisket. She said, Trisket, biscuit, ice cream, soda pop, and there on top. Ooh, Charlita, walking down the street 10 times a week. I'm at it. I said it. I sold my mom's credit. I'm cool. I'm hot. Sock you in the stomach 3 more times.
1 more times. He knows
Yeah, I
it.
know it.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, he knows it. Okay. Now, but Billy gets him sorted out, doesn't he? He gets him money. He gets him
Yes.
to that flop house or hotel, that
Yes.
seedy motel or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh, that hotel. Wow.
I want to know what the guy was yelling at him outside, that he put in Spanish, I would assume. I wonder what he was yelling that was at the room. I just don't, I want to know. Someone probably knows. I just don't know. I would love to know that.
Maybe we could Google that. I don't know. Throw it into the Google machine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I don't know.
I don't want to Google right now. But I do want to say that Billy is really cool. He skips class to come and hang out with him and help him. And I like how they land on finding a job, because they find out it's going to take 6 weeks
Yeah.
to find that machine.
Yes. I don't think Billy's cool, but I don't think skipping class is a big deal for him, especially after seeing how he performed in gym class. I don't think they're going to miss him.
That fucking layup.
I don't think they're going to miss him in English class or math class or any.
But he was kind of bullied by that teacher, though, making him pick up all the balls that were thrown at him.
The teacher's a dick.
Yeah, that's kind of a dick move.
I think gym class teachers are dicks in general.
Back then they had that. Back then they had that little machismo, and if you weren't like the
because you have to stereotype that gym teachers back in the day are failed athletes.
Yeah, so they have an edge to them. I get it.
Right. They have to pick on somebody.
I want to say this: he helps him find a job and everything, and gets him that hotel, gets all this. So it makes me think that I think Billy is way more equipped to handle this transformation. Like, it sounds like he would have been like a little bit more get my shit together and get this done than Josh was, because Josh is a little more hapless, in my opinion.
You know what? I agree and disagree.
Of course you do.
Well, I get what you're saying, but I feel like Billy, I think he's more of a manager.
Billy's a mover and a shaker, so it makes me think he's the guy.
What we find out about Billy, I think, which is kind of funny because, you see him in gym class and all this stuff. You find out what Billy's about, what he actually, and we saw this earlier. He's like, I got the info. You're in. She's available. Like,
you can see down to her flowers. He has all the info.
He can oversee things. Like, he's a managerial type.
He probably is.
Had this transition happen to him, I don't fucking know if he'd be able to handle it emotionally. But who knows? I think he was already like, he's one of those like, I can help you get through this. I don't know if I can go through it.
He's a good support animal, whatever you want to call it.
He's a leader. He's a manager. He can, I'm a delegator. I'll tell you what to do. I will show you where to go to the bank with your paycheck.
Now, the one place where I thought was interesting was when they're in the diner and they're looking for jobs, and he says computers or something like that, and that's what Josh wants to do. He's like, you and your stupid computers.
That's awesome.
That's the wave of the future. Billy didn't see that.
Billy is also not a good leader.
But once he read toys, he was like, toys. So yeah, Josh gets that job. It's amazing. Like, he could do that job, that data entry job, as a 13-year-old, more efficient than the guy sitting next to him. Probably because, younger people tend to grow up with computers, tend to be more natural with it.
We had the foreshadowing earlier where he was doing the computer
game.
Yes.
That stupid game.
We already had that. And so we knew he knew at this point in time too, you think about it, like, adults didn't know their way around computers.
Oh, no.
When computers came out, even now, I mean, there's still people, but like, you've grown up, and you're at any job.
Yeah.
You have I don't want to say older people. I'm going to say older people because that can't work a computer.
Well-seasoned individuals.
Yes. But you can't work in a computer, and it's because you weren't exposed to that at an early age.
And it's hard.
You
And
know?
so it's harder. The learning curve is much
And,
higher.
like, I feel like it's funny because like it's like computers, video games.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not exposed, it's just like a lot of things. If you're not exposed at an early age to it, you can't pick up on it as well.
I would agree. I've been
You
playing
just
video
can't.
games since late 70s when Pong came
Yeah,
out. So
you can't. It's funny because like, you think about it. Like, as silly as people thought video games were back in the day and computers and everything, but it's like it's one of
Joke's
those
on
things. Like,
them.
It's partly when you were born too, because
Yeah.
if you were not on that shit at an early age, it's really hard for you to pick that stuff up.
I would agree. I would
Like,
agree.
big time.
So
Thank
you
God
have a
for Mario.
you have a 6-pack here.
Yes, I do.
Let me hit the
yes, the first paycheck. And how would you like that? 3 dimes, $100 bill, and 87 ones. That is classic. I love that.
It is classic.
Like,
Do you remember when you would take a check and get it cash and they might ask you that?
yes.
That is something I haven't heard in so long.
So I remember anytime I would ever cash a check, I always would say, whatever's easiest,
Yes.
Most people would, but that's awesome. As a kid, like, this is how I want it.
Because I want to know why they needed 86 ones. Is it for vending machines or something?
You think about that. Who knows? Strip club. I don't know.
They ain't going to. Well, Josh
They
could.
might. Hey, guess what? He was already living in a whorehouse hotel, so I don't even know.
All right. Are you ready for this next section?
Yes.
All right. Josh meets the company's owner, Mr. McMillan, at FAO Schwartz, and impresses him with his insight into current toys and childlike enthusiasm. They play a duet on a walking piano, and then McMillan invites Josh to a massive marketing campaign pitch meeting with senior executives. Unimpressed with the toy being pitched, Josh shocks and challenges the executives with a simple declaration that the toy is not fun. And while his follow-up suggestions invigorate the team for new ideas, he earns the animosity of Paul Davenport. Meanwhile, a pleased McMillan promotes Josh to vice president in charge of product development. He soon attracts the attention of Susan Lawrence, a fellow executive, much to the dismay of her former boyfriend Davenport. Josh becomes increasingly entwined in his adult life by spending time with her, mingling with her friends, and being in a steady relationship. All right, I want to say that this part of the movie is where I feel Josh finds his groove as an adult, or as we say now, #adulting. In today's wording, of course.
Well, he's got Kitty Foreman getting him an edited copy of the Giants Broncos Super Bowl without the commercials. So
yeah,
it's all good. He's in there. He is in the business world because that's what you do. You fail upwards. When you get higher up, you're like, I can make people do shit, and I don't really have to do shit.
I want to, and if people are listening, I listen to a podcast called The Dollop, and The Dollop does American history stuff, and they do stories, but they did Steven Seagal. It took them 3 episodes of an hour and a half long to do a Steven Seagal, and he is the best, most failing upwards loser,
piece of shit,
rapist. Shit that I have ever heard of.
I don't want to say rapist. I don't want to.
I would say that because he is allegedly
rapist.
But just going to say, you listen to that and you will wonder how people like that can have that much money and be that awful. It really, really takes your standards of society and drops them.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Like, and he was married to
Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chick in Weird Science, which is totally hot. Okay, so I'm gonna
what was she in with him? Hard to Kill, or
I think so. She was in one of them.
She was in with him,
but she got out of his relationship. Luckily,
Steven Seagal, you suck, dude.
He does.
You suck.
Yeah,
for many reasons.
So I want to hit my 6-pack first because I want to do it in the order of how they come up in the movie.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit this. And that's when he meets his the CEO there, Mr. McMillan, or the owner, I guess you call him. They do the piano scene, and my six pack is pretty much the piano scene and everything that happens in that store, but that toy store that he does, like when he gets shot and he does the little death spasm, and just Tom Hanks.
Do you remember
Go ahead.
What he was playing when he got the death spasm?
He was playing laser tag.
No, he wasn't.
What was he playing?
That was Photon.
Photon. See, I don't know the name
that
of
was
it.
not laser tag. That was Photon.
A generic knockoff.
I used to have Photon.
Okay. So, but no, but Tom Hanks, he just, in this movie, he's so great that you feel like he's just another one of those kids playing. But the piano scene itself, I think that's like a top 5 movie scene ever, like in all movies.
It is. I'm not even going to disagree with you there.
Like when people think, Gone with the Wind, frankly, Scarlet, when the dude gets on the plane in Casablanca,
which I love.
This right here, though, if you haven't seen the image of him and Robert Loggia standing next to each other, then you haven't paid attention, because it's on all the time. They show that.
You know what? I got to say, like, I would have to really think about what's better. That's when you say it's top
good.
5, it's that good. I would really have to sit down and think about if I was ranking top, 5-10 scenes in a movie ever. I don't know how many would come above that.
When the DeLorean disappears the first time, goes travel, and they look back in the fire between their legs, that's Back to the Future has some good scenes.
That's a good one, but
I still think this one's slightly better.
It is, and it's drawn out too. It's a long scene, and it's so good. And
now, because I picked that as my 6-pack, I have a fact here. Robert Loggia portrayed McMillan, who was modeled after then FAO Schwartz CEO Peter L. Harris. After Loggia and Hanks spent months at home practicing the routine on huge cardboard piano keys, the two showed up for shooting and noticed dancers on standby. Motivated by the perceived slight, Loggia remembered telling the stuntmen to take a hike and performing the sequence with Hanks in just about one take. That is fucking baller.
Take a hike.
That's what it said. Take a hike. Now, go find Lincoln Hawks.
I'm doing my I was doing my Necessary Roughness voice.
Oh yeah, that's right. He said that too.
You the big O, me the little D.
He's good. He's great, man. That's the third movie we've done with him.
Doesn't work for me. None of this works for me.
His jacket don't work for me. Yeah, he's
Let us pray.
I love that when he's fucking awesome. Nothing fits right.
So it's funny, like, because we've had these guys in a couple of movies we've done. Him and now I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But Major League Lou.
Yeah.
Those
two are great character actors.
Those two are great fucking character actors.
They should be in the same movie.
They should. They should have been.
Should have been, because I think Robert's not with us anymore.
This right now. I heard they're supposed to be rebooting or remaking Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Those two should be in it.
Well, I think one of them's dead. I think that's Robert. Yeah, he died in 2015, unfortunately.
Well,
so he's not with us anymore. So
this is what CGI is for.
You're right. If they could put Princess Leia's face on one girl,
yes,
they can do this for us. Now, I want to go back to the adulting thing, because one of the other things in this section, like I said, he has this 6-pack scene, and then he goes into that meeting and he lays waste to Davenport's idea, his building idea, like he is Godzilla or some shit. Like he's fucking like, fuck this building. This is stupid.
It's a goddamn skyscraper.
Yes. But here's where he drops another bomb, and I have another 6-pack.
Okay.
And he comes up with the insect transformers, and then what's his name? It's like, nobody just comes in here and nobody just says bugs. like he doesn't think anybody else can have an original thought or idea. Like, really?
Right. I didn't say bug in a meeting. Can we give some side props here?
Yeah, sure. Do you want another 6?
No. not a six pack, the asshole in this movie.
Yes.
It's also our favorite Kevin McAllister's dad.
Dad. Well, we also thought he was a shitty dad too, if you remember correctly.
And he was. And no. Here's the funny thing. Did you ever see the movie Gladiator?
Do you remember the original one?
The boxing movie.
Yeah, with Cuba Gooding Jr. and
yes. And the guy, I can't remember his name, but he was the other Marine on trial in A Few Good Men.
The sheriff in Rambo in First Blood. Rambo.
Huh?
The sheriff in First Blood. Oh no.
No.
You're talking about the kid.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about Tommy or whatever they call his name. What was his name in that?
But his dad in Gladiator was him too.
Oh, shitty dad.
He had that's what I'm saying. He's a shitty dad in every fucking movie.
He wouldn't been a good dad here, but he didn't have the chance.
Anyway, yeah.
He's a dick to kids.
Exactly. He's a shitty not dad here. If he had been a dad and gotten her pregnant, he would have been a shitty dad.
All right, I want to hit your six pack now because I think you want to talk about what happens next.
I do. All right, so we have Josh getting promoted.
Check this out.
Gets his new apartment. Oh yeah, that's a real six pack.
That's a real
just
open.
Crack that can. Tap that ass, bitch.
Go ahead, man.
Josh gets his new apartment. Now this, it's funny watching this now because I wonder how many people got ideas from this for their own man caves at home. You have the pinball machine, Pepsi machine,
the trampoline.
You
have to have 15-foot ceilings, but that's what he had.
I don't know about the trampoline per se. Maybe
bunk beds.
See, I'd go more sex swing than trampoline. I don't know. Everybody's going,
whoa!
But no,
hey,
it's funny you watch this because like you think about so many people that do man caves now.
Yeah,
the different things.
That was a ultimate pad. I love that.
It was.
The apartment was ultimate.
It's funny because there was so much, and that's why I loved it because I'm like, you're a kid mentally. He's a kid still.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get? And I was surprised. I will say though, because there wasn't more video games. There was a pinball machine and a Pepsi machine.
Yeah. Why wasn't there a Pac-Man or Star Wars or?
We don't know what his budget was at the time. I'm sure he blew whatever it was, but we don't know what he got promoted to at that time.
He probably got paid weekly. He blew that week's budget.
Right. So,
Vice president probably made a lot of money back then.
But you gotta love like the whole thing. Like, you don't play pinball? Doesn't cost anything. Hey, you have to pay
Picked it up to cost no money. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
It is awesome. Like, who wouldn't want that stuff? Like, you're watching this as an adult, even you're like,
I want that.
Good idea. I want that.
The only thing that scares me about his whole situation is those large windows next to that trampoline.
That doesn't. Oh, it does. Yes, but
it does me.
Control your shit.
Whatever. You go through that. Life is over.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
Because he's got a high riser.
See, I can't even I am not a trampoline fan.
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say I'm not a tramp fan, and I was gonna say we all know you are.
I am. No, that's one of my cutoffs. No trampolines ever.
You don't do trampolines ever?
No.
I did back in the day.
No, I'm saying like for me, for my kids, no, I would not ever. That's a veto. I'd be like, fuck no, not doing trampoline.
Would you? Okay. When I was younger, I used to be a BMX racer and do all kinds of crazy jumps and stuff. How would you feel about that?
About what?
Your kid doing things like if he said, I want to be like Uncle Mike and race BMX bikes and jump and do tricks.
If he's got remember Little Giants?
Yeah.
If he's got the padding.
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
If he has the padding like the one kid.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
No.
You know what's funny? Oh, I gotta tell you, it's a random thing here, but we just watched that a couple weeks ago with him. I did not remember Devon Sawa was the quarterback.
Oh, that
In Final
that she was into, the
Destination?
ice truck was
Yes.
into?
Icebox.
Icebox, whatever, sorry.
From Final Destination in the stand, I was like, holy shit.
No. You made me do that fucking movie. You say it.
Yeah. What?
You said Final Destination to Stand. No, we did another movie with him in it. You made me fucking do that movie, and I had to rate it shitty, so you say it.
Which one?
Slackers, asshole.
Oh, Slacker. You're a dick. That's a great movie.
You made me watch
You're
that.
a dick.
So,
Shut up, dick.
yeah, well, I'm not a dick,
You're a dick.
But Josh is kind of a dick.
You're a dick.
In this movie. But before that, the Susan thing, I want to get into that for a second.
All right.
So they go to the party. She comes on pretty quick after he got promoted. Are we to believe that she is the cliche of sleeping your way to the top? Plus, in that limo, who the fuck gets vulnerable in the back of a limo with a guy they barely know? What is this? I don't understand her.
I don't know. You know what? I have no answers for this. I honestly don't. This is like, and we'll get to stuff later about this.
Well, yeah. Later on, he lists off a laundry list of her exploits to get to the top, and she was only angry about one.
Like, all we know about her is she dated a douchebag,
hates her secretary,
and dumps the douchebag for a 12-year-old that she didn't know was 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And
13. He has a birthday.
Got her to jump on a trampoline, not metaphorically, in real life. So then, there was a little exchange of decoder rings that glow in the dark. That's about it. And
I just don't understand her. Like, I don't know. She sleeps with a lot of people, it seems.
Yeah.
To get to the top, and then she becomes vulnerable. Is this vulnerable thing her trick to get people to kind of pull into her?
No, God, this is a dive I don't even want to do because
we won't dive in it right now.
I've already got some issues with this.
But he gets into this relationship and he starts actually doing the job, having a relationship, and doing things like that said. But when his birthday comes around, he does have a birthday party at that Italian place, and this is where I have my generic, and I thought it should be yours, but here we go.
Yeah.
And that is when that weird ass chef is out there doing that dough tossing and eating. Everyone handled it, and it was raw dough, and he had him throw it into his mouth, and he was eating it. How does that not your fucking generic?
Because I have a bigger generic.
And at the party, when he spits out the beluga, how is that not your fucking generic?
No.
Okay, I'm just saying, I've got two scenes.
Well, hey, guess what, dickhead? Pedophilia trumps spitting and eating hand-touched shit for my generic.
We'll talk about what that is.
But that's
we have
why
a conversation.
It's not my generic.
Okay. So, read the next section.
Jesus.
McMillan
asks Josh to come up with proposals for a new line of toys. He is intimidated by the need to formulate the business aspects of the proposal, but Susan, the cougar, says that she will handle the business, and while he comes up with ideas, nevertheless, he feels pressured and longs for his old life. When he expresses doubt to Susan and attempts to explain that he is really a child, she interprets this as fear commitment on his part and dismisses his explanation. Typical woman.
Yes.
You're just scared. You ain't 12, you just scared.
Yeah. So there's some things I want to go over. Before, I have a couple things. I'm going to do this out of order in my notes because... So eventually, he goes home with her and she sleeps with him.
Yes.
Right?
That happens.
All right. Okay. So, but what I don't like about that, well, what I do like about it is, one, let's remember that Susan does not know who he is.
Right.
She thinks it's a 30-something-year-old. So I'm not going to blame her
Look,
and shame her for that.
at this point, Penny Marshall is the only one that knows how old he is.
Although I just had a revelation, but isn't this kind of like what guys say when they say she was asking for it because she dressed like that and looked older and stuff? Like, although he literally is older.
No, this
It's
is
like-
not at all that.
It's like an avatar for trying to
is
say it was
not at
okay because they
all
act
like that.
older.
This
I
is
agree.
not
I
at
agree.
all like that.
I agree. But my brain just thought that like wow,
This
that's
is not at all like that.
But that being said, they have I like it when he turns the lights back on when she
This
turns them off.
No, this is you work at a company and look like you're 30 and you make more money than me. I'm going to assume you're over 18.
Yes, that's correct. That's a
Yeah.
good assumption. It's a good
Right.
assumption, not a bad one. But that being said, I like it when she takes her blouse off and she turns off the lights, but he turns it back on because he's never seen what he's looking at. So
Yeah.
what every because at this point he had his birthday. Every 13-year-old boy
And
would do this.
you know what's funny? Like this is where it's weird.
Yeah.
As a 13-year-old boy watching this movie or 15, what have you.
I was probably
That's what I
13
was.
to 14.
Right, me too. That's why it's like you're watching it for different reasons.
Back then you did.
But this we'll talk about later.
Okay, let me go into what I was going to say.
All
So
right.
he has the sex. And the part I don't like, and it's not a generic, but the next day, I'm never a fan of this trope of the high energy smiling guy after he had sex the night before. Like, all of a sudden, you're a new me. I swear I was imprinted with this because I thought back then that if I had sex for the first time, I was going to wake up invigorated and a new man. Like I was going to be someone different. Like the world will have changed. And I have a spoiler alert for all of you. That does not happen. It just does. You're the same guy. You just had sex the night before. That's all.
I don't know. So 500 Days of Summer,
Good movie.
him coming out,
Yeah.
looking in the reflection.
Well, I mean, he feels better about himself, but that's
Well, I'm just
different.
saying, like,
It's different, but not this. Hi, everybody. Get me a black cup of coffee now. Ha ha ha. I'm an adult now.
well, I guess you know what? I guess it would be different because you didn't have sex for the first time when you were 12, did you?
13. He was 13. He had his birthday.
You didn't have sex for the first time when you were 13, did you?
I'm not going to talk about when I had my first sexual conquest.
I know. 25, but whatever.
Anyways, but without
Hey,
all that, I just
How
want to
old
say
your daughter?
she's 18. Why?
And you're how old? Do math.
You're saying that's the only time I ever had sex was when I was
I'm just saying
29?
that's the first time. There was probably a second time, and that was it.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. So here's the thing. I can't believe that I watched this and thought nothing about the age thing when I first saw it though. Like you said though, it could have something to do with our age then.
And your
'cause-
blinders, yes.
Yeah, we had those blinders.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just one of those things. I can't believe I watched it. But when you pull back and think of the 13-year-old boy inside of that man's body and a 30s woman, it's a little creepy. You know, just a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you can't make this movie today.
No, you
At
can't.
all.
And ultimately, because of where this section ends, like where she thinks he has this fear of commitment. It's not that he's just not emotionally ready to not be a kid anymore.
Yeah.
And have these things. He's just not there yet.
You can make this movie today. It's called Freaky Friday. Like this can happen for a day. No sex involved. That's about as far as you can go.
You know, it's funny. We're going to do a body swap movie. This isn't a body swap movie, though. This is just, you know, getting bigger and getting smaller.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's a little different. It's more perspective swap than anything. Now, I want to go on to, so I want to talk about this comic book idea.
Yeah.
I think it was ahead of its time and lame all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because when I first watched this, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, is that going to be coming out? Like, is that because they mentioned it? And it never did because it was too early for that type of tech. Like, it was just too early. And if they did make it, it would have been some second-rate version. We didn't even get those weird little music things that you could plug into those kids were using until the 2000s.
This was choose your own adventure.
Yeah, like you push the thing and then on the screen changes. So he was talking about basically a tablet having a program that just ran that one thing, but it's almost like a tablet, and following the story.
And it makes you wonder if Josh had stayed an adult, what could he have invented?
What other...
Or going back to being a kid, knowing what he knows now, that, hey, you don't really have to do shit in the corporate world to make money. Now,
when we get to the end of this,
what can I do?
I have those questions. We'll talk about that bullshit.
All right.
We will talk about that bullshit.
All right.
But the idea itself, I thought was great, but it would have been lame if they tried to execute it. That's all. It
was. I mean, it's the, you have those kind of books for kids. But,
well, when you get to the bottom and you read, like, go to page 1, whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Those were cool enough. And I'm guessing they didn't cost as much to make. What, $7 a unit and $20?
Right.
For a kid.
You think some kid's gonna pay $30 for a...
Yeah. Josh learns from Billy that the Zoltar machine is now at Sea
Point. I was
Park
with you.
And he leaves in the middle. What do you want? What are you doing?
Together.
Oh, you can't keep up with me. I'm too good.
Oh, yes, I can. Ready?
You can't do my cadence. Are you ready?
Go.
Josh learns from Billy that Zoltar machine is now at Sea Point Park. And he leaves in the middle of his presentation to McMillan and the other executives. Susan also leaves and encounters Billy, who tells her where Josh went. At the park, Josh finds the machine, unplugs it, and makes a wish to become a kid again. He is then confronted by Susan, who, seeing the machine and the fortune it has given him, realizes that he was telling the truth. And she becomes despondent at realizing their relationship would end. He tells her that he enjoyed their time together and suggests that she use the machine to wish yourself younger, though she declines and offers to take him home. After sharing an emotional goodbye with Susan, Josh becomes a child again before reuniting with his family and Billy. And he can't keep up with me. I have too much charisma for him.
Because you fucking messed up a goddamn word. You didn't even...
Well, the one
Shut up.
It was missing. I'll put it in there now if you can see it. It just came in there, that word.
It doesn't help now because we already been there, done that.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my gosh. There's so much in this movie.
Okay. After realizing that Mike is an idiot, Anthony continues on with the podcast against his own will and judgment. There you go.
All right. So you can tell the fact, or the six-pack here, and I will hit it, that it's both our six-pack. Yes. How about that?
I will. This was my six-pack. You added it later and piggybacked off my shit, which is okay.
No, I was going to do it. You just happened to have it on here.
So this is a six-pack and a fun fact. All right. So Sea Point Park, where he makes his wish to be a kid again, is actually filmed on the boardwalk at Playland Park in Rye, New York. Now, the significance here is Mike and I both went there. So this was 3 years ago when I first moved to New York. We went with our families for the day, had no idea that this is where this was at until on our way home, we were looking it up and we found out, holy shit, that is where this was filmed. This blew our minds. Like, legit.
Do you know why I looked it up then?
Shit. Are you kidding me?
Do you know why I looked it up? Because when you watch the movie Music and Lyrics,
yeah,
Hugh Grant said he's going to go sing at Rise Playland.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that. And then when I looked up Rise Playland on there, it then said the other things that were in there. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
And we were like, holy fuck.
I was standing where Tom Hanks stood.
We did. It was crazy.
It was.
For
It's pretty.
people in New York and in this area, I know not as big of a deal, but it was to us because we aren't from here. I live in New York for right now, but I'm not from New York. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
It is. I'm like, holy shit.
I agree.
So
there are probably places in Ohio that they would come and find out a person was there and be like, oh my God.
Right.
So
yeah.
same thing.
You're in Ohio. Yeah. Making a Murderer was filmed there, I think, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Ohio. Woo!
This is Lane Avenue from Family Ties.
Oh, Family Ties, though. I don't know where that was filmed, but
it was filmed in LA, but it was based on being in Columbus, and they lived on Lane Avenue.
They were Bengals fans.
And they went to the Lane Avenue Mall.
They were Bengals fans on Family Ties.
Yes. So yeah, we have things, we have famous people. We had like 7 presidents.
We had no idea. We were like, holy shit. So my other thing was Playland, Fatal Attraction. Anybody that movie?
That was in that, yes.
That was filmed there. The whole scene.
The roller coaster scene.
Kidnaps the boy, takes him to the roller coaster.
Oh.
But yeah, there was like a ton of if you Wikipedia this Playland,
it was a thing.
There's it's shot. There's a lot of stuff shot there. TV, music videos, movies, and mentions of it. Like what was it?
Your brain doesn't work.
Oh, John Hamm. Mad Men,
yeah.
There's mention of it there too. Like a lot of shit.
All right. So I want to get to the ending of this movie.
Okay, me too.
I think it's a good ending. I do like once she believes the truth or understands the truth. And really, she understood it in the meeting when he left. She didn't, wait to see the wish. She knew when she asked Billy at that time.
Yeah.
But her demeanor changed really quick once she learned he was a kid. Like, she went from sexy time to mommy energy real fast.
Yeah.
And I liked it that she did meet Billy briefly. And the thing is, though, when she meets him, but do you think Billy is going to get all the deets on what happened there?
No.
No. And when you think of him telling his best bud, he did not. Oh, come on. Come on. It gets weirder when you think of it that way, though.
I'll say this. It does. But I will say no, he does not.
Why?
Couple reasons. Well, first of all, it's funny. Billy's reaction when she's like, I'm his girlfriend. He's like,
yeah. He's like, he gave a, yeah. He was like,
no. If I'm just saying like what would happen there, I do feel like Josh, no, he's taking that shit to the grave.
That I have a part of, we're going to talk about all this here in a second. All right. Okay. Now, let me see. Okay. So, the goodbye in the car, like it said, he offers her to wish to be his size. And I don't say age because that isn't how this works, right? Like, she'd be smaller, but her brain would be 35. Like, she'd have all the shit she knows. But she is wise enough to know that is implausible. Like, he didn't think this. Where would she live? Because it's not like she can't go back to parents like he could. Because he went up. He didn't go back. She'd be going back. And where would you go? She'd be stuck in the system. She'd be in trouble.
Right.
That'd be some shit. But that being said, if you were able to take what you know at 35 and be able to start at 13 again, that, I don't know. But you'd still have all the emotional scars.
I know.
It's awful.
Be like, if I start back at 13 and be like, just waiting for Bitcoin. Just waiting.
Oh, man. Yeah, just waiting. Just waiting. Oh. Now, here's the thing. Now that he knows that this thing works, like, he knows Zoltar worked,
mm-hmm.
Don't you think he could have gamed the system a little? And what I mean is like wish to be yourself again, wish to be your size. But how about wishing to be a wealthy kid? Not or well endowed or athletically gifted. So
no.
So if you so this brings me to this. If you had your shot at Zoltar at 13, what was your wish? At 13.
Let's fix this train wreck here.
It's not a train wreck.
It is for what you're saying. He went back to it. At that point, in any movie where you get wishes or anything goes bad, you're like, this is where you straight up wish, just make it the way it was.
Zoltar didn't do anything bad to him.
No,
he did the bad to himself.
I'm saying this is where you just wish, make it back the way it was, because that's what I want, and that's how I was happy. I realize it now. That's the whole point of the movie.
Nah.
Get me back to where I was.
Give me the money and give me my age.
See,
me and Billy are going to be playing with that fucking.
I'm not even answering that. Listen, here's your problem.
That truck that's $59.95.
Here's your problem. You would fuck up a Zoltar machine because you would wish for stupid shit and it would backfire.
No.
Oh, yes.
We see it works.
Yeah, no, listen. You are Biff with the almanac.
Biff was pretty successful until they took it from him at the right timeline.
The city was burning down.
But he was fine. In Biff's world, it was okay.
No, you would be Biff with the almanac. This is you would. That's the route you would choose.
Whatever.
I'm just saying. You'd be like, yeah, I want to win all of this. And I want to do this. And yeah, I want to buy the police. And guess what? I don't care about anything else. And burn down a Taco Bell. And fuck y'all.
But here's the thing. When you were 13, what would your wish have been if you could make a wish with Zoltar?
Samantha Fox? I don't know.
That would be awful. She was barely a blip. You get.
When I was 13? No.
Yes.
No.
She was washed up by then.
No, she wasn't when I was 13.
Yes. For you, I mean, what, you was born in 78?
I told you the first porno mag I ever had was Samantha Fox on the cover.
Yeah. So you wanted a porn princess as your thing. Okay.
Probably at 13, give me one wish off the top of my head at that age. Probably.
At 13, at that time, I would have probably wanted to have the Browns win the Super Bowl or something.
Guess what? I think I would win that.
Because they went to the AFC Championship that year.
You get
what?
The Browns, so you get the Browns to win the Super Bowl, and I get Samantha Fox in her prime.
Yeah, but which one's still around and didn't even win the Super Bowl? That's all I'm saying. One still gives me joy. Yours doesn't.
The Browns give you joy.
Unless you still have that magazine, I guess. I don't know.
We're getting a whole new thing here because this is weird. The Browns give you joy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch football. It makes me happy. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a couple
I don't
things.
want to go there, but okay.
And I'm gonna hit another generic here. Here we go. And that is that at the end of this, we don't get the payoff on Josh's comic book idea. He should have had. They should have had a few months later scene with him and Billy excitedly handling one or looking at one. Like we should have had like him seeing his fruits. Like
I don't know about that because he would not have reaped any benefits from it. But that does actually. It's kind of funny now that I think about it. Does he get any residuals from anything? Because his name and his info is still in the company.
Whose fucking social security number did he use?
Right. He
used a locker combination plus 12.
No, he used it, yes. And he pledged every day. So they've got all that in there. Where's that money going to? He's probably at this point got Social Security set up.
Yeah.
Retirement, pension. I don't know. That's a good question, though. What the hell happened to his adult self? But then, if you think about it this way, well, he used the fake social, so I guess
That's what I'm
not.
saying. Everything is whack. Back then, you didn't get your social at birth.
Right,
You
but-
waited longer.
But what happens to him as he gets older and starts using that name and his other info that he is used on job applications? It's like, hey, this is me. I did not pledge every day. I don't know,
But
who
I
that
did
guy
invent this toy.
I will say, when you were talking about what happened to, I would like to know what happened to him.
Well, I have something here.
All right.
I have something here in which my whole generic leads me to this. Do you think Big the Fallout would have been a better movie? Or heck, even a 10-episode Netflix series about the aftermath and how nuts life was? Because he has so many questions about what happened to him, his captors, and which are fantasy, really, where he was, and her with her strange guilt and knowledge of the whole incident. She knows, and she has to carry that guilt and can't share. Like there is real emotional trauma in this, and Billy himself is going to be fucked up from this.
I think
I'm saying that would have been an interesting movie. Big the Aftermath.
I will say I could, if they were ever gonna reboot this or do a sequel. It's kind of what you're saying right now, right?
Yeah, what they should do is do a thing where they interview each of the people.
No, I would say if you were ever gonna reboot this or do a sequel or a miniseries, I would call it Small.
Why?
To see what happened to them, because I feel like a lot of things that fantasy type of world they went through did not turn out the same way. Would have been smaller.
Okay.
I
get it. I just think the aftermath would have been interesting. Like, think of, the thing is, he was missing for 6 weeks.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he shows up. Those police are going to want to look around and find.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like when you watch that movie and you're like, oh, that's so amazing that happened to somebody, nobody's going to believe it. You know what I mean?
They're going to believe that Josh was captured, taken to that weird 15-foot ceiling place, and she was the one who did it because she's the only other person who knows.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, you're going to call the show Small because it didn't end well for any of you.
No, didn't end well for anybody.
So
I've got to.
If this was found out, it's like you were an adult for a couple weeks. There's no proof. Nobody believes it. You made up your social. So what happens to you after that?
Yeah.
Small. It went from big to small.
Yeah. You're on crack. But I want to do one more fact before you do a generic. Since it was at the end of the film, after Susan discovers Josh's real age, Marshall insisted that Elizabeth Perkins kiss him on the forehead instead of the lips, because in the original script she was supposed to kiss him on the lips.
No.
But Penny Marshall made great choices.
She did by not
leaning into that. Are you ready for your generic?
Casting Deborah Winger and turning the tables.
Are you ready to do your generic? Here you have.
So this is both of our generics, I think.
Sure.
Correct. The whole sex part relationship. It's so screwed up. And I watched it as a kid. It was totally different. Now, as a parent, as an adult in general, it's so messed up. And I'm like, this movie is so great in so many ways. I do love this movie, but with that part of it, it makes it so fucking weird. I still can't believe it gets 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't.
I can.
It's a great movie, but when you have that sex scene, that implied sex scene in it,
because we have to be in, if you're in the mindset of the characters, it's okay, because she thinks it's a 30-something-year-old man. if she would have done
I
it
get
after
that.
figuring out he was a 13-year-old kid, that's worse.
I get
But
that.
I understand the emotional part of it.
It is. So I totally get that, but I'm like, it's still like when you watch it as an adult, I
Yeah.
think part of my biggest problem with this is like not the difference how I viewed it then and now, but knowing that happened in that movie, it existed, it was there, and how many people overlooked it back in the day when it came out.
Yeah.
That's kind of my big bugaboo about it.
That, yeah, well.
Like, what the fuck? Nobody complained about it back then?
Because it was okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry, it was okay because, you know, we had Look Who's Talking and talking babies and shit, and everything was all good.
Everything was fucked up in
It
the
was all
world.
fucking fine. Shit was fucked up. It's okay. Guess what? Hey, bud, sissy, nice to meet you guys. Bam! Everything was cool in movies. It's fine. You do whatever you want.
Yes,
I
you
love
can.
Sissy.
Quit that. Are you ready to rate this thing up?
I don't know if I am, but okay.
All right.
What the fuck happened?
So we've had some technical difficulties, so Anthony's
right.
going to sound a little bit different, but he's going to give his review.
I am technically inclined to love this movie, but I can't stand it for some reasons. And I don't know what else to say. I give it a 19. It's a really great movie, but it's got some fucked up shit.
Yes. I guess it's safe to say that I do love this movie. I mean, I love a lot about it. I love Tom Hanks' performance. It's responsible for really putting Hanks on the map the way he is today. It putting him in my crosshairs, because before that, he was in things, but nothing that like really captured my imagination like this. And after this movie, it was like you had season tickets to everything he did. Yeah, there's a questionable relationship, but I honestly don't care as much as he does. The piano scene alone is so iconic, and along with Hank's performance, that I have to give this one 24 cans. Big score for Big. Where's that put us?
That puts you above pedophilia for sure.
She never was a pedophile because
it just still makes it weird.
Hey, remember your mic sounds weird because you're technical bullshit. So don't yell too much.
21.5.
So, what would be close to that? I mean, I don't even know if there's anything.
My mic's already fucked up. You want me to keep talking?
Just give us one movie that's near it or above it or below it.
Batman 89 is 20.75.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say those are pretty much.
Clerks 21.25.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there we go.
All right. Okay,
And
so
I apologize for the mic issues, everybody. I broke something apparently, or something broke.
He was trying to do a little clap action and accidentally clapped his mic. It was funny to watch from my angle, but the aftermath is real. So we would like to thank you for listening. We also encourage you to hit that subscribe button and leave us a rating and comments and all that stuff. Remember, you can go to our website, sodapopcultureclub.com, for all things related to the show, including your chance to make movie suggestions, and our episode schedule is there as well. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we do have that Twitch channel. Now we want to give you a little tease as to what next week's movie may be. See if you can guess what it is.
One hot piece of ass.
No, you haven't. That's all I can say. No, you haven't. As always, we'd like to thank you for listening. No, you didn't. So, are you
They
ready?
got it on.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm done until I get a new microphone.
You better have it real quick. Thanks, guys.